Hello YouTube, it's Grace again, and today I'm going to be doing a review for The Kiss of Deception. So, The Kiss of Deception is a book by Mary Pearson in which it follows a girl named Leah who flees on her wedding day because it's an arranged marriage with a prince who she's never met. So she runs away to a distant village from her castle? Yeah, okay, we'll say castle. And she flees and she builds herself a life away from royal life, essentially. And while she's there, she meets two men, Rafe and Caden, and yeah, she gets to know them. And yeah, but the thing she doesn't know is that one of them is the prince who she was supposed to be marrying, and one of them is an assassin sent by a rival kingdom to kill her. And that is essentially the plot. So upon reflection, upon reading this, I am probably going to give this book a 4 stars. Maybe a 3.5 stars. Like, I'll go with the higher end and say 4 stars. Yeah. I was just hugely underwhelmed by this whole book, but I'll explain more about that in my actual detailed review. So, to get into the review now, if I have any spoilers, I'll lift up the book and yeah, then you'll know to mute it or whatever until I put the book down. So, the thing about the plot that really intrigued me. Like, when I read the blurb of the book, I was so intrigued to start this book, get reading and breeze through it. But when I read it, I really realised how much the book itself pretty much embodies everything on the blurb. Like, the blurb just tells pretty much all of the story until the last 80 odd pages. And this book is 486 pages, and if the blurb tells you practically everything which happens until the last 100 odd pages, yeah, you realise that not much actually happens besides what's been told to you already in the blurb. So I have to say, for those who are watching this video who haven't read it yet, if you don't mind that it's kind of a huge spoiler, then yeah, the whole plot line is a huge spoiler. The blurb itself, reading the blurb, it's more the story is the development of the blurb. The blurb is the outline of what Mary Pearson is gonna write about, and then she adds the details, which is the actual story. That's what it's like if you've read the blurb. And yeah, so characters, I should probably disclaimer this now and say that there is a love triangle essentially in this, and yeah, I'm not sure if most people would enjoy it because the fact that it is a love triangle. I mean, I enjoyed it because I didn't really go in here largely for the romance. I went in here hoping for a sort of adventure with this, but it wasn't hugely adventurous as I was hoping, which is why I probably feel a bit underwhelmed and a bit disappointed with this. Yeah, so I find that Leah's quite a strong protagonist character. She's strong, she's independent, she can fight and everything, yeah. She's your typical YA heroine, essentially. Then you've got Rafe and you have Caden. So, the reader doesn't know until Leah knows which one's the prince and which one's the assassin. So I had a lot of fun trying to puzzle which one is which. I kept on confusing myself numerous times while reading this. I read back upon my messages with a friend who's already read it, aka Christina, and we were just talking about it oh god, I just could never I always got confused which one was which, and I just kept confusing myself. So yeah, that was fun. I find that Caden's a character of quiet kindness. you don't realise I don't know, like he's a character who is kind, but you don't really realise how kind he can be as a character. Whereas I find Rafe has a bit of arrogance to him in a way, but also quite a bit of kindness as well. But yeah, he has a bit of arrogance about him, and I do admit I did enjoy how the relationship ended at the end of this book, which is like between Leia and the prince, which I don't really consider a spoiler since you don't really find out who's the prince until at the end of the book. But yeah. Writing style I really enjoyed, but I felt that the writing style was very character focused. So it's centered around the characters and their interactions, their relationships and everything. And yeah. Pace, next thing. So pace I felt was a little slow for me, but I think that's because I was expecting action, and that would have sped me along so much, but that didn't happen in here, and that's what I think really slowed me down reading this. But yeah, because I've been reading this since the booktubeathon, and I only finished it last night, so I'm actually filming this on Tuesday. See, I finished this like Monday, the day I posted my Crown of Midnight review. Yeah, so it took me that long to read this book because it was so slow for me. And yeah, that is my review of this book. I'd say my advice is don't go in there with high expectations. Like, don't go there expecting wow, like this plot sounds awesome, I want to see where it's going, because this book is pretty much the embodiment of the blurb itself, is what I feel. Like, there's descriptions and stuff added, but it's pretty much like this just tells you practically everything which happens in here. And yeah, I'm gonna read the second book to see how it goes, because yeah, I actually enjoyed it, but I didn't really love it, and I think that's because I just felt so disappointed by the plot at the end of the day. So yeah, that is my review for The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. If you want to know anything else about my views, or even if you have a similar or even different view about this book, comment down below, because I'd be interested to know what you think about the book or about what I've said so like in my review. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video. So goodbye.